Inside the convenience store late at night, Alice trembled as she hid behind the shelves, blood trickling down her arm. A bullet had just grazed the top of her head, and the sniper's aim was locking onto her every movement. This nightmarish chase was only possible because she had refused to answer her husband's phone call a few hours ago. At dusk, she skillfully ducked into the company restroom and connected to her husband's check-in video. However, just as she was about to say 2 sentences, she suddenly blanched and hung up the phone with her hands full. Unexpectedly, the next second her black colleague walked in as if nothing had happened. Worried that her husband would see the scene, Alice asked her co-worker to take her home, but refused to answer her husband's calls all the way. Unbeknownst to her at the time, this seemingly inconsequential decision would change her fate forever. On the way, they stopped at a gas station and Alice went into a convenience store to buy coffee to refresh herself. Surprisingly, no one was on duty at the cash register, so she had to leave her money on the table. However, just as she was about to leave, the blood spilled on the shelves gave her instant chills. Suddenly, a bullet hit her arm, followed by another one to her head, which luckily was only a graze. Alice forced herself to endure the excruciating pain and ducked behind the shelves, bandaging her wounds with her jacket and calling out her co-worker's name. Meanwhile, her co-workers in the car were engrossed in music and completely deaf to her pleas for help. In desperation, she stared at the cell phone on the ground and crawled towards it with her right hand, but was hit by another bullet when she was about to grab it. At the critical moment, a man's voice suddenly comes from inside the cash register. Alice looks around and realizes it's the walkie-talkie going off. In order to get it, she skillfully distracts the sniper with a bag of potato chips and manages to get the walkie-talkie. She tells the person that she has been sniped at and pleads for help to call the police. However, the co-worker outside notices the inexplicable leakage of oil from the car's fuel tank, gets out of the car to check it out and walks towards the convenience store. Unexpectedly, he was shot through the neck with a bullet just as he approached. Alice could only watch helplessly as he fell into a pool of blood. The man on the other end of the intercom promised that the police had been called and would arrive in 15 minutes. Just as Alice breathed a small sigh of relief, the details of the call made her realize with a jolt she had been talking to the killer himself. The other party was deliberately teasing her to make her fall from hope into deeper despair. Alice decides to take the initiative and turns off the power to the convenience store.